Okay, so we're going to start off with the warfare officers and the drill master officers. Now, these are identical skills. Were the bottom one, melee killer. This is what you want to start off with because it's going to increase damage to melee troops. So that's underneath Simon, the energy rifle, also Stormbow, the tactical crossbow. This is definitely something you're going to want to match up together because it's going to give you some pretty big stats. And the stats are very good. Imagine attacking the front row and just melting them. Okay, you want the front row to melt as fast as possible, guys. This is the way it is. Okay, and you can see down here that's 10%. Okay, this is increased damage. Damage. The key word damage to melee. So all your troops, your back, your front, your titans, everything, your front, they're all increasing damage to the enemy's front row. Very, very, very important. And that's where you'd want to start. And as you can see right here, I have it outlined. Increased damage to melee troops. 104.5. Now that is buffed up. So I think the highest you can get is like 100.5 or 100. Yeah, about 100.5. I think that's what it is. So again, you are literally increasing. You're increasing that attack. You are just melting that front line, and it's not going to stay up long at all. I mean, that is what you want to do. Now, to get those stats, not only is it from the officer equipment, but you also have to have it in the plane, which is the bottom line, the bottom item in the lab, very bottom right. You get that maxed out, you can get it all up to 100.5. That is max. Don't pay attention to 104.5. That is a buff. So that's, yeah, it's 100.5 is max. And that's something that you definitely want to get into first when it comes to this equipment. So again, both of the warfare, Stormbow, and the Simon for drill masters. Okay, so next we're gonna get into Titans. Okay, so as Lee God said, and I'm going to give credit where credit's due. Lee God pointed out that the biggest problem with a lot of people are the Titans. The Titans are strong, so if you can increase damage to the Titans, that's huge. That's huge. So, like I said, you started with melee. You attack the front. Now you're attacking the back. So if either one of those fall, you're pretty much dead. You're pretty much dead. And Lee Guy did point that out very quick. And this is actually what he's starting off with, is with the Titan Killer. But that, guys, remember, he is maxed. So I mean, he's walking through people. So to get this increased damage to Titan, there's two officers, drill masters, that you can get them from. Obviously, Maria from the Twin Blades, and Freya from her Dome Breaking Blade. And they do go up to level 15, which would be maxed. I'm not there yet. I'm a little bit of ways away. Whatever. But that's something that this is what I'm focused on next. Actually, what I'm focused on right now is this right here. And then, yeah. I want to be able to take down that front line and the back line as quick as possible. And then, just screw them in the middle. So, next, being now you got the Titan increased damage, now you want to reduce the enemy damage Titans, which you can find in Selena's Shadow Rifle. As you can see at the bottom, reduced damage taken from Titans. So you're going to reduce the damage that Titan takes. Also, in Tifa's Technical Bag at the bottom, you can see right there, reduced damage taken from Titans, and it goes to level 15 as well. Now, with this being said, guys, if someone has the increased damage to Titans and you don't have the reduced damage, like, these kind of counter each other. So if you don't have the reduced damage and they have the increased damage, they're going to do some serious damage to your Titans, guys. So those Titans will fall, and they will fall fast. Um, so I'm sure you guys have noticing that I'm putting these side by side. So these are identical. The bottom stats, they're identical. So when you get that, it's literally, let's see, 4 plus 2 plus 7.2. What's that? That'd be 11.4%, with those combined. So if they go up to 10%, that's 20%. Now remember, damage taken. That is a multiplier skill, guys. It's not just 10 points. It's a multiplier skill. Very, very, very important. And you notice how the order I'm going in, it's going in most favorable for majority of the game. Like Legod, he's super strong. Mental, super strong. Archie, all those, and Ducky, stuff like that. They could take you down even without this. I'm just saying. For majority of the game, majority of the players, this would be what you want to start with in order that I'm doing. All right. So next, we jump back to Maria and Stormbolt and their melee blessing. So I've been asked many, 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 many questions about this. And guys, if you just simply read it, it says increase HP of melee by whatever percent, and melee troops will share damage of other troops, planes, and titans. So majority of the people in the game have very high melee HP, right? So if your backline's getting hit, or your midline's being hit, or your titans are being hit, some of the melee HP that you do have, high or low, is going to be shared to keep those mid-range, long-range, or titans to stay alive. So let's say that if you have 2100 melee HP, this is going to come in hand because it's going to help keep those backline, frontline, and titans staying alive during the battle. So this is actually a really good skill. It's one of those skills that are being overlooked by a lot of people, but it's definitely a good one to get and to max out. Again, Maria's Bunny Hunter Rifle and Stormbolt's combat armor, and that's going to finish off Maria and Stormbolt's all their shit that they have, I believe. Yeah, I believe it's going to finish them up. But either way, again, it's going to transfer some of the damage that's taken from your mid-range and back-range and titans, and it's going to take it and move it to your front line. Alright, so now that that's clear, moving on. Okay, so Freya, the small robot, this is what I would focus on after what we just talked about. Reduce damage taken from long range. Guys, listen. 93% of the game is long range, okay? So majority of the time when they are attacking you, they're using their long range attack. Okay, so those stats, that's what they're hitting you with. They're hitting your front with it, and they're trying to kill, like that's what I'm doing. I am literally trying to kill you with my back line. So if you can reduce damage taken, that magical word again, damage taken, it helps out a lot. And Alexandria with the mechanical hold, she also has it as well. So guys, we're talking about stats. If you do everything correctly, that can really really help you out and benefit, especially in a team attack. And let me explain that. A team attack, this is when you see reduced damage taken, that is a multiplier skill. A multiplier skill. So with that being said, a team attack, you are reducing the entire attack of what their long range can do. Not just one person, not just the 2000 long range attack stats. No, the entire attack. So if you're only at 50% reduced damage taken from long range, you're only blocking out a portion. Like you're only blocking out 50% of that attack. Now, if you can get that to 100, now that doesn't mean that you're going to block the whole 100% attack out of it. What that means is you're going to reduce the damage that is allowed to be given to you. Huge stat, guys. Huge stat. Again, the magical word, damage taken. And again, Alexandria has it. And guys, they also have good stats that come with it. I mean, look at this. At the very top, you got enemy long-range attack reduction, which is what's going to be minusing their actual stat. You know, the 2,000 I'm talking about, that's going to be reducing that is right there. So, I mean, you're hitting them in the front and the back. This is like a gangbang, guys. Like, no joke. And then in the middle one, you got the increased defense and HP to all troops. Huge stat. So I would definitely focus on that and get that going as soon as possible. All right, moving on. All right, so next we have Aeon and Caddy. All right, so the impal down at the bottom increased the attack of the troop by 4.5, well, whatever percentage, and increased damage when attacking units with shields. So that means, you know, the Titans that are underneath the shield, the frontliners underneath the shield, such as the Aeon skill. This is the counter for it, ladies and gentlemen. This is the counter for the Aeon skill. Obviously, it ain't going to be huge, but the little bit that is allowed through, this is going to allow more to get through. So this kind of is a big skill when people are using Aeon. Now, if they have theirs maxed and you use your Aeon, well, I'm sure you get the gist of what I'm getting to. But yeah, that's I mean, it's not a bad skill to have, especially like Convoy when people use Aeon or, you know, like EW, so on and so forth. It's not a bad skill to have. I enjoy it. Anyways, it's I would be more looking towards the attack against long range boost or the attack against mid range boost, and the other the raising the melee HP and defense. That those are definitely good portions of it. So you get. I'm not going to say it's bad, but it's not the best out there. But it does help for when people are using that Aeon or when the battle starts when they got those bubbles. You know, and I know you know what I'm talking about. The question I haven't asked is, does this be considered for like DoD or Triangle War, per se, when people use that golden bubble, that item? I do not have that answer for that. I'm going to say no. And the reason why I'm going to say no is because those items are like $60 and the other one's like $100. I don't think this is going to come into play when it comes to, you know, DLD or Triangle War. But then again, I don't know. I'm just going to say no, it doesn't. So if that's questions going through your head, let's just squash that right away, because I think, yeah, I don't think that's coming in. Those are just for the actual attacks that you see with bubbles that pop up. All right, so moving on. All right, so back to Simon and Tifa. And this is the reason why I'm saying this, okay? So the one we just went over, this will be the one that it's countering. Okay, so if you look at the bottom, it says, at the start of the battle, Titans and Warplanes will get the protection force, resisting HP damage for 10 seconds, or HP and damage for 10 seconds, whatever. So this is that bubble that we're talking about, that will have the bubble get around the Titans and the warplane. Okay, so this is something that if someone doesn't have the one we were talking about to do the damage to it in the bubble, this is something that it's going to kind of mess with those players that didn't get that. The reason why I said to get it before this one is so if they do have this, you're already loaded and ready to fire. Again, this isn't a huge thing, but again, it does have resisting damage for 10 seconds. So resisting damage. I believe it's a percentage. Well, I mean, obviously, it says a percentage. So, a percentage of the attack that's going through that bubble from the skill that we were talking about before is going to be resisted. So, and well, you think about what resisting means. Is it mean like kind of a immunity? Kind of, sort of. It kind of does. Cam likes to use words that kind of make sense in different ways, but can mean other things. And I think and I believe this is part of it. Also, with the Simon, it has the all-troop misfire resistance. So, you know that gun that's got that little circle around it with the cross that goes through, that's the misfire, right? Well, this one, the right there at the top, where it says all-troop misfire resistance, this is going to narrow the amount of times that they can do that, or they can produce you to misfire. So it's kind of a big thing, because I tell you what, there's been many times that if I didn't get the misfire put against me, I would have kept going, and I probably most likely could have won. And Tifa has the same thing with the protective force field. They go hand in hand, ladies and gentlemen. Also, she has increased attack of troops and the biochemical zombie attack boost. Huge stat. Of course, it comes with the long range and the mid range and defense with the mid range troops. Anyways, all right. So that's something that's going to counter. Or the last one we were talking about is going to be what counters this one. But if you don't have this one, just know they're going to fuck you up. They're going to fuck you up. All right, let's move on. Okay, so next you have the defensive rampart. Okay, in the first 10 seconds of the battle, the two troops with the most units in the mid-range and the long range will get a shield. And their attack will increase whatever percent for those first 10 seconds. You guys all remember me saying the first 10 seconds of the attack is what matters. That is when the most kills are done in the entire battle, is the first 10 seconds. So, for instance, if you're going to attack someone and you're going to recall real quick, this is going to come into play. So all your troops are kind of protected to a certain degree. And that damage is being increased within the first 10 seconds. Huge. It's not that big, but it's kind of big for like whales. Whales definitely, they use it, and then they get in, they get out, and they fuck shit up. They mess stuff up. They really do. And the things that come with it, they obviously the melee HP and defense in the back, and then on the Eric, you got the all-troop misfire again, which is pretty cool. And then you got the enemy long-range reduction, same with the mid-range reduction. And, obviously the increased HP and defense. I like this one because sometimes when I do attack, I do like to do the whole first 10 seconds and get the fuck out. I do like to do that. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, next we have mid-range resistance. Mid-range resistance. It comes from Anne and Caddy. And the reason why this is kind of in the back end is because, like I said earlier today, only 92% of the game, or I'm sorry, 8% of the game, we'll just say maybe 8 or 9% of the game players are mid-rangers, okay? So this kind of is in the back. Yes, you will get some mid-rangers that are strong. Don't get me wrong. And when you come up against them, they will fuck you up if you don't have everything in order. But majority of the game is long range. So this is not it is an important skill. Don't get me wrong. It really is. But it's not at the top. You understand what I'm saying? It's not at the top of the order to where you want to prioritize it, because if you prioritize this before you do the long range, then you got an issue. Because now you've just let 98% of the game just bend you over, and only 8% of the game you're trying to block. You understand what I'm saying? It's a big thing. So, anyways, they got the all-troop disruptor resistance and the all-troop misfire resistance. So both those two new stats that do come in hand, they do come in play. Also increase the attack by all troops. Both of them are in there. All troops. They're not just talking about your long range. They're talking about all troops. Mid, front, and long range. All right. Moving on. Next, we have Selena and Zeus. And this is called Long Range Killer. Now, for mid rangers, this will be a hot item for them because they are literally going for the long range troops first. You know what I mean? So, literally, this is a hot item. This will probably be matched up either before the melee killer or directly right after it for mid rangers. But for long rangers, this is kind of towards the back, and the reason why I say that is because you got to chew through the front line, you got to chew through the mid line, and then you get to the back line. So it does take some time before you actually see the long range troops. But when you're there, it does increase the damage. So it is, it definitely is important. But for long rangers, it's going to be, unfortunately, more towards the end of stuff like that. Again, now if a long ranger is fighting the mid rangers, he can use mid range troops, and this would benefit them as well because mid range is all about taking the titans down as fast as possible, versus long range is all about taking the front line down as fast as possible. I hope that makes sense. But all right, let's move on. All right, so now we got mid-range killer. Guys, I know you guys are like, well, we should probably put mid-range along with long range, so on and so forth, guys. Again, I can't stress this as much as I'd like to. Okay, increased damage to mid-range troops. Again, only 8% of the game. It is an important skill. Don't get me wrong. It is, and you can get it with Panda, and you can get it with Eric. Okay, it does come in a tie when you are facing a mid-range player. So when you're using those mid-range troops, and your backline eventually if it can hold up, I should say, if it can hold up long enough for the mid-range, this will apply that, and it will help out. But again, there is only 8% of the game that are mid-range players. So that's kind of why it's kind of on the back end, if you know what I mean. All right, now. Well, guys, I think that's about wraps it up. If I forgot one, I apologize. If there's a better way to do this that you guys wanted to follow, by all means, this is the way that I'm doing it. Of course, I do, periodically put some for all of it, so I can get the effect for everything. But I hope this guide helps you guys out or help you better understand all this officer equipment, because guys, they are serious stuff right now. They like the best bang for your buck, and they come with some insane power. All right, it's your boy Woody. I'm out. Bye.